Good morning, everybody. Merry Christmas. Welcome back to another episode of Cheetah.
And the cheese.
We are here, week 16, going strong. A lot of scenarios for you guys going into this week. Playoffs are right around the corner. If you're a football fan, I know you guys are excited to see what kind of the outcomes are, especially with this new playoff format that the NFL has with allowing that extra guy in. Cheese, we're going to talk about what kind of happened the last two games since we missed. You know, we were in the holidays, everybody was busy. Wanted to give you guys some space, but we're back, baby. And
Back at it.
the Vikings Saints game, if you guys got to watch that, that was a shootout. Can you crown Kamara the MVP of Week 16 already? Fantasy championships have been won before any other games have even started. Scoring six rushing touchdowns versus the Vikings. Dang, that was trash. But man, he looked good. What you think about
That's
that game,
insane.
Cheese? Me and Cheese ended up picking the Saints, and
I mean, their Saints are dangerous, man. Drew Brees coming back. Brees throwing for 311 yards. He did throw two interceptions though, so Drew, I don't know what that's about.
broken
But
ribs.
you said what?
It was broken ribs.
Yeah, probably not being able to push the ball, but they are a very well-rounded team, man. They're looking scary, especially if Alvin Kamara. Goodness gracious! I mean, that defense is not, and it's not a horrific defense by any means. But like you said, man, it was just a freaking shootout. I like to see that they're still putting Hill in certain situations and still, making him, part of the game plan now that he's not a quarterback. But it just shows you how much of an athlete he is, that he can be able to move all over the field. Kirk Cousins tried to hold in there. He had a better game for him, almost having 300 yards and three touchdowns. But Cook, man, he got shut down to 73 yards. He was averaging about 5 yards a carry, but Alvin Kamara he just won that one. He was like, "It's gonna be between me and you in this ground game, baby," and he scored six touchdowns. So that was just a shootout, man.
Six touchdowns. I still can't believe
Sick,
that.
bro. You can't do that on Madden, probably.
Well,
It's crazy.
with that loss, that actually eliminates Minnesota from playoff contention. They ended up losing to Chicago last week, and then this week, I mean, I don't think they really had a chance. But then you get embarrassed on national television like that. It was just
On Christmas.
yeah, the Saints freaking did what they needed to do. The game before that, we didn't talk about on Monday night. Okay, we had the Steelers versus the Bengals. This one actually, me and Chiefs got wrong. We didn't even talk about it really because we were like, why are we going to talk about this game? And then Cincinnati comes out on all cylinders. Big Ben poops a brick. You know, the whole Pittsburgh Steelers in general just look dead. And they're finally getting to the end of the season where they're playing pretty decent competition. You know, teams are starting to figure it out, and then they've just kind of stalemated to got worse, in my opinion. And I didn't
Yeah.
see Cincinnati come out there, but the biggest thing of the day was Juju Smith dancing on the logo, right? Because he's making all these dang TikTok videos. Oh, he's dancing on the video, all this stuff, and then all of a sudden the game starts, and then that dude is getting slapped. I'm talking about they had a target on that guy's back. They were coming downhill as soon as he crossed over the middle on those little mesh routes. He was getting blown up, man. He was getting
Yep.
blown up. Cincinnati came with a vengeance. What you think about
I
that one?
seen something. I seen something too. I can't remember the exact number of it, but it went back. Well, first of all, he publicly said that he will no longer be dancing on the logos anymore. So I thought that was pretty smart of him because especially at the end of the game, they that dude killed him. But they said, after Antonio Brown has left, if he hasn't had any, or it's been extremely few games that he's had 100 plus yards, if any, I think. And I was kind of going back where AB before he left used to say that he kind of like made Juju, but I don't know what's happening with the Steelers now, and they are not losing to good teams. They are losing to like bottom of the NFL type teams, and it's three games in a row, man. So I don't know, and I definitely didn't think coming off the last loss they had that they would go ahead and make. I didn't think the Steelers would lose three in a row against these teams with the defense that they had, man. But the Bengals defense, they were pissed off, man. They shut them down, shut down Big Ben. They couldn't do anything.
No, we ended up getting that wrong. A few sports bettors wanted to sports bet the Jets because they upset the Rams. They were plus 18 and a half. And if you money line the Bengals, who were plus 14 and a half, We put probably like $5 to $10 on the two-team parlay, and then won over 500. The odds were crazy, and those two teams ended up winning. It's crazy at the end of the season how you can kind of parlay some stuff like that together. But I don't want to just give the casinos money. So that's going to bring us to our key matchups of Week 16. Minnesota already played to start off the week and got embarrassed by the Saints. So the Saints, they could possibly be in that number 1 seed. They're above Green Bay right now. Green Bay's got a big game versus the Titans this week. We'll get to that one. But the first game I wanted to talk about is the Dolphins versus the Raiders. Chief, tell me what because I want to know what you got up your sleeve with the Dolphins defense versus a Raiders that's been struggling.
And see, I don't know, because when I sit here and think about it, like really how good is Miami? All right, they can win games, they can beat good teams. They're trying to fight and sneak their way in. And like you also said, the Raiders are going down a little bit, but I don't know. I'm going to go with Dolphins on this one. I'm going to go with the defense. I think the Raiders are going to have to figure out what they can do that is going to best put them in the best situations to win the games offensively. And I think they're kind of struggling with that and don't know where to go. They don't have and it was the run game, but I don't really feel like right now they have a bread and butter that they can actually go to and put away good team. And Miami's going to come in too. They're clawing. They're trying to get in the playoffs, man. They're trying to shock and shut a lot of people up, man. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins on this one. I think it's going to be a dog of a game, man. I think these two are going to go at each other. And it's going to be good to see if I want to see if Mariota gets in there and gets any playing time. But 5 starters are coming back for the Miami Dolphins, so I'm gonna have to ride with the Miami Dolphins, man. I got to ride with them. I've been saying that they were going to wind up making the playoffs, so let's see if they can make things happen. I'm going Dolphins on that one, man.
Speaking of injuries, what do you see that the Raiders got anybody on defense coming back, or are they all still out? Because they were missing Abrams, they were missing Arnett, the quarterback from Clemson that ended up being pretty good, and Cleveland Farrell. So
yeah,
are they back?
Don't say anything right off the bat though, but yeah, that's been a big part of why they've been struggling so bad too. But it doesn't say as if they're coming back this game. Just the Dolphins are getting 5 guys back, so they don't say nothing about the Raiders. So they still might be banged up, dude.
Well, their Russian defense is actually pretty decent, even without it. But that secondary, man, it's getting torched. So let's see if Tua can actually get it done over there versus a weaker Raiders secondary. Maybe they're a little bit rusty too, even if they're coming back from injury, because it's been a couple weeks that they've actually seen the field. I love the Dolphins too. Like, the defense has been shut down, locked down. You got 2 good corners over there, guarding Henry Ruggs and Nelson Aguilar. Brian Edwards was one of the starting wideouts in the league or for this team until he got hurt, and then Nelson Aguilar kind of just got the role, and they kept with him because he was hot. I'd like to see kind of what they do with that wide receiving corps. Raiders on the outside looking in, I don't think there's any really big possibilities unless everybody that's like at 9 wins loses, and then the Raiders finish out the season winning. I think they're out of the playoffs too. I'm going Dolphins as well. Myles Gaskin's coming back off COVID, hopefully for all these fantasy championships that sat on him and you're in the championship or something. Hey, I'd start him because the Raiders are, again, weak, and he catches the ball in the backfield very well. So me and Cheetah both going Dolphins in that game. It's going to be closer than you think. It's in Las Vegas, in that new stadium. Derek Carr maybe get tweaked again, and then who knows? We might see Marcus Mariota, so that'd be cool. Next matchup, key matchup, we got the Colts at the Steelers. Okay, I wanted to put this one on there because it is a battle of the AFC. They both got 10 wins. The Colts are right there tied with the Titans in the AFC South. Steelers up there in the AFC North, and you got the Browns right on their heels, and they actually end up playing the Browns at the very end of the season for that number 1 spot if the Browns can win this week and the Steelers actually lose to the Colts. I'm going to go with the hot hand and the Colts. I think they're the best all-around football team, offensively, defensively. Phillip Rivers is doing well with what he's got. T.Y. Hilton's kind of resurged. We have 3 good running backs in that backfield with Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, and then who was that other one? There's 3 of them. That gets the handle out. But anyways, they can handle the load. Offensive line's protecting Phillip. He's dinking and dunking. What he always has done for the Chargers. And the Colts looking a little bit scary, so I'm going them. I don't think the Steelers can bounce back from all these games that they should have won.
Yeah.
But it's the NFL, so anything can happen. Cheese, what you got?
Colts. The Colts defense does scare me, especially how the Steelers offense looked against the Bengals last week. The other thing is Colts are ruling out both of their starting tackles.
Ooh.
So next man up. I don't really know anything about the the third, fourth string tackles, but I'm gonna pick the Steelers on this one. They can't lose 4 in a row if they want to sit here and act like they're going to have a shot to do anything in the playoffs. The tackles being out, Phillip Rivers is not a quarterback that can evade and be elusive and get out and make plays on his feet. He has to stay in the pocket. That has to hurt a team not having both tackles in my mind. And I think they find a way, and Big Ben finds a way to get some offense going. But that Colts defense, they smother, man, and they do it fearlessly, and they're extremely good at what they do, and the way they hide their coverages and stuff, and let the linebackers just play free, pretty much. But that being said, I'm gonna go with the Steelers. That's really hard having 2 starting tackles out, and that's probably my main reason right now. If they had a full squad, nothing was banged up or anything like that, the Colts are a really good looking team right now. I'm just going to say Steelers are going to find a way to utilize them tackles being out and find a way to get some pressure on Rivers. Man, I'm going Steelers on that one.
Yeah, it's they need to pick it. They need to just do something to get back on that winning train and get some momentum going into the playoffs. If they lose this week and then they lose next week versus the Browns, man, they're out. I think the Browns have like more wins versus better teams, and they'll get that number 1 seed over the Steelers if the Browns win as well this week. But I'm with you. I didn't know that the tackles were out. I'm still not going to change it. I like the defense for the Colts anyways. And Steelers don't really have a running game anymore. I don't think James Conner's a guy. After this season, I think he might be out of there. Big Ben, I don't know if he stays again or retires.
He came so strong, too. And that's kind of like – it's kind of weird, man, because I had big hopes for him, and Lindsey at Denver, but they both have kind of flaked a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll see what Pittsburgh does kind of in the offseason. I don't think they're a playoff contender team versus the talent that's in the playoffs in the AFC. But, again, we'll see. The next matchup I want to go to, we got the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Surprisingly, the Cowboys still have a chance to make the playoffs if the Washington football team blows it up the next 2 weeks and the Cowboys end up winning the last 2. Eagles coming in hot. Jalen Hurts, we've been high on him all year. He finally gets some playing time. He's producing. He's running that offense how it should be ran. He's getting the ball out. He's got talent around him. And he's just a playmaker, too, so he can get it done with his feet. Dallas Cowboys defense has been better as of late, but not the best still. But who knows? Yeah. They have a new life. They know they're still in it for making the playoffs, and all it really counts is if you get in the playoffs and then you start making your run. Cowboys are still a talented football team. Andy Dalton's kind of, decently getting more rapport with his receivers. A lot of young talent. I don't know what's happening with Zeke, but Tony Pollard had himself a hell of a game last week in the absence of Zeke. I don't know if they go with him in the hot hand or they're going to give it back to Zeke, who's been struggling almost all year. Cheese, I want to know who you pick before I pick this one because I'm 4 down.
Is it more? Is it 4 or more? Okay. Deshaun Jackson is active. That's crazy to me to see. That's definitely going to be fun to watch and see what happens there. I'm gonna go with Dallas. I think they have the talent. Andy Dalton can do what he has to do to win games. It's just, I don't know. This is going to be a damn slugfest as well. Both of these guys trying to make the playoffs. Both these guys divisional rivals. They can't stand each other. Where's it at? It's in Dallas too. Yeah, I'm gonna give this to I'm gonna pick the Cowboys on this one. I'm down here at Juan's house anyway, so I can't. He might kick me out, not let me sleep in the night. No, but I'm gonna go Cowboys on that one, man. They got a lot of talent, man. If they could just utilize it. Defense has been playing wishy-washy, but so has the Eagles. Their defense has been playing wishy-washy, and the fact of the matter is, Hurts, I think, is going to go out there and really cause some havoc because I think he is the quarterback in Philadelphia. But that being said, I just don't see the Eagles wind up pulling it out, man. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys on this one.
Yeah, I'm going opposite because I think the Eagles with Jalen Hurts. He played at Oklahoma, so he's not too far away from the Cowboys Stadium. He's probably used to that kind of environment. So I'm going Eagles and riding the Jalen Hurts train. I think their defense has struggled, and their corners are probably one of the worst parts of that defense, which is not good matchup for the Cowboys. But I think Andy Dalton gets a little bit more pressured from Fletcher Cox if he's
Fletcher Cox is probably out.
Whoop, no. I guess next man got to step up. I'm still going Eagles. Doug Peterson, come on, ruin the Cowboys' chances of making playoffs. Yes, Juan, he's at your house, but I'm not. So, boom.
Yeah.
We're going opposite on that one. The next game came another NFC East team that has a lot of potential to make playoffs. You got the Panthers, who's been struggling, and then the Washington football team. Ron Rivera coached football team. It's kind of a homecoming waiting to happen. Panthers have been struggling. Teddy, I don't think it's the guy. And, I had high hopes for him too, just game manager, but I think we get one of those top 5 picks and use it on the quarterback. Washington football team's playing really, really good defense. Chase Young is an absolute freak coming at the quarterback. That
would be dope for me. I would enjoy that.
Couple guys to note for the Washington football team. You got Alex Smith throwing to Terry McLaurin and that Logan Thomas tight end who's kind of came out of nowhere. I wish I would have started him in fantasy last week, but he's going against a decent Carolina defense. I think I'm going against this, though. I want us to lose just for a higher draft pick. The Washington football team, I want to see them win, and then basically they're in the NFC East as the 4th seed. And I don't think they just got to win one out of the last 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure. And it's probably going to be versus Carolina. No Christian McCaffrey again. It's been a bad year for us. Yeah, I'm going football team. Jeez, it sucks to say, but yeah, I need to come back.
And you were going to have way more depth into this conversation anyway, just because of being the Panthers fan. I'm picking this just because of Ron Rivera, and I want him to beat the Panthers. Just solely because of him. How things ended, yada, 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 all this new stuff coming in. He can take this team and wound up coming and beating the last team he was at that he had great success at. I think it would be just a really cool story or something cool to see. If you're looking at it X's and O's wise, I think it's a toss-up with either one of these teams. I don't.
That's where I'm going to go ahead and tell you that Scott Turner is not a good offensive coordinator. I like Joe Brady and kind of his play calling. And the coaching, I love Matt Rule. I still like Matt Rule. There's a couple things he's done that's very questionable, but I think the coaching aspect of the philosophy, if you're talking X's and O's, is definitely in Carolina's favor. Maybe on the offense side, but the defense side, yeah, he might have the upper hand.
Yeah, well, I'm not a Rule fan, to be honest, and I think he's done some extremely dumb stuff, like some college stupid stuff, but that's why everyone has opinions. That being said, though, I think Rivera is going to be ready to rock and roll. He's going to have a great game plan coming in. He's going to have the guys fired up and ready to go, and they're playing for something. So that makes a big difference as well. So I think them having stuff to play on and build on and something to look forward to. Alex Smith still scares me, talking about somebody wanting to win a game. But I think Chase Young is going to cause a lot of havoc, and Teddy Bridgewater is going to get tired of seeing him for sure. So I'm going to go Washington on this, and I hope Rivera get some a dub for this one.
Yeah, it's like to say, but I am too. I just want Carolina to lose out. Give me a top 5 draft pick, and then I'll be happy again. Because Derek Brown panned out. He's actually leading the league in pressures and tackles for loss, I think. He's tied for it. And then we got Jeremy Chin. So we've cashed in on some draft picks this past year. Hopefully we can do the same, especially if we have that top 5 pick in each round. We might make that big trade to get that Trevor Lawrence kid. I don't know, dude. That'd be crazy if we did. I'd be the happiest man alive. But next game, okay, another divisional matchup. It's got a lot to entail in the playoff seeding. The Rams versus Seahawks. Both these teams are most likely going to make playoffs. Who's going to get that number 2, 3 seed? That's a toss-up. We got the Rams coming in that lost to the dang Jets, the first win of the season. And then you got the Seahawks who haven't been scoring a lot of points lately and been playing the NFC East. So I'm kind of interested to see how this game is going to pan out because I think the Rams do have a better defense, but I think the Seahawks have a better offense. At the beginning of the season, I'm pretty sure Seattle got the upper hand in the first game, and playing two of these teams playing each other twice a year. One of them, they'd probably split. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Rams. I think their defense is going to, capitalize on a struggling Seahawks offense. DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, that's going to be a matchup to watch. And then you got basically Aaron Donald versus Russell Wilson, if you think about it, because Wilson's going to have to get these checks. He's going to have to do the protections. As a quarterback, you're doing all of those things before the ball's even snapped. He's got to know where he's at. I think the Rams are pissed off that they lost to the Jets. Sean McVay's going to have these guys ready, and then the Rams get that number 3 to 4, or I think, 3 seed in the NFC, beating the Seahawks this week. Chiefs?
I'm going Seattle. I think they play good during this time of the year as well. They're always that team that winds up, if they're not looking like it, wind up sneaking their way into the playoffs or knocking somebody off and crushing somebody's hopes toward the end of the season. So I'm going Seattle. Russell Wilson, I think they got to step it up and make it go. That defense for the Rams is very, very good and has a lot of good pieces to it. But the Jets also, Frank Gore was running on them. So, that dude's 85 years old. So I'm not 100%, behind what they're doing right now in Los Angeles. And I think, Seattle is kind of finding their identity and figuring out what they need to do and utilizing the weapons that they do have in the right scenarios during a 4-quarter game. And we're seeing them put it together a little bit more. So I'm going to go Seattle on this one. Russell Wilson's got to get it done. I think this is also going to be a really good game if the Seattle Seahawks defense can slow down the offense and put Jared Goff in a little predicament and make it to where they have to adjust way more than what they want to, because you don't want to make that offense comfortable because of how they build everything off 2 or 3 things. So if you can make them uncomfortable, make them have to adjust and get out of what they're really good at doing, then I think the Seattle Seahawks can come away with it for a win. So I'm going Seattle.
Sweet. So there's 3 games that we're different on already. I like it. That's what I'm talking about. Comeback season, week 16. I need them. Titans versus Packers is the last key matchup that we're going to talk about before we get into the picks, because we need to kind of get to the picks in about 6 minutes so we don't say we're falsely picking other teams. Anyways, Titans, Packers, King Henry. We got freaking Aaron Rodgers, who's in the MVP running. Chief, go ahead, take it away. Tell me what you got for your boys.
I'm a little nervous and scared. Our head coach coming from Tennessee, being that offensive coordinator, I don't know how much he knows and how good he'll be game planning wise. Our defense scares me, especially against someone like Derrick Henry. For sure scares me. I think we're playing better though. The defense is getting a little bit slept on. They're not as bad as what people kind of make them out to be. But, that is a freak of nature, and they got a guy that they can throw the ball to with Brown and Tannehill if he lights it up. It's going to be a really good game. I'm definitely going to go with my pack. 10-4 versus 11-3. It's in Lambeau. I know it's cold up there in Nashville, but it's not like it is up in the frozen tundra. I got to go with A-Rod. I think our offense won't have a problem at all. It's just literally I hope they just don't take Aaron Rodgers off the field because they're running the ball the whole game. And then at the same time, making sure that I just don't want them to gas with like the Minnesota Vikings did. And that's going to really piss me off. But I'm going Green Bay. I got faith. I think we can find a way to start, try to slow them down. We're really good at pass rushing, but we're not amazing on the line of scrimmage when it comes to stopping the run. And that's what Tennessee's great at. So really, dude, I think this one could definitely go either way, but I'm going to go with Green Bay. I got to ride with them.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Packers too on this one. I don't feel like the Titans can kind of go into Lambeau and then run all over them like that. If it gets to a close game towards the 3rd and 4th quarters, for sure, I think that the Titans have an upper edge just because they can run the ball. The weather in there is pretty interesting. If it's going to be real cold, if it's going to snow, I don't even know, to be honest with you. But this could be a slugfest right there, and Aaron Rodgers plays well in the snow anyways. The Titans defense has been struggling. I mean, they're scoring a lot of points, but that defense, man, they can't really stop anybody. The secondary is pretty beat up. And then I haven't seen much of Jadeveon Clowney on that defensive line. I don't even know if he's still playing or not. But yeah, I got to go Packers too with you. I'm not letting you get a cheap one on there just because it's your team. But who knows? That could be a Tyler King Henry might run wild. But I just don't see it happening.
Could. And he definitely could, but
I don't see it happening. But that's going to do it for our key matchups. Now we're going to get to a section where we are going to pick, and then at the end, we're going to answer the questions that you guys filled out for us. Cheese, go ahead and run us down with the picks.
Let's get it. Start with the first game of today. Buccaneers versus Lions. I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, I'm going Bucks. Lions are a little bit beat up too.
49ers versus the Cardinals. I'm going with the Cards, man.
Ooh, 49ers down to the third string quarterback. I'm definitely taking Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. They lit it up versus the Eagles last week.
Yep. Dolphins and Raiders. I'm going Dolphins.
Yeah, I got to go Dolphins, dude.
Giants and Ravens. I'm going Ravens on that one. It's in Baltimore.
Yeah, Ravens. Giants are sucking balls, man. And then Wayne Gallman lost me the fantasy playoffs, so screw him. I'm going Baltimore.
All right, Falcons and Chiefs. They're in Arrowhead. Definitely taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs gotta win this one and keep that number one seed. I think they've actually locked it in, but they just need to keep playing hot like that. Then maybe get some other guys to PT. I think Tyreek Hill might be a little bit banged up, so watch the Travis Kelce show.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Next one's Browns at Jets. I'm going Browns. The run game is going to be too much.
Yeah, Browns embarrassed the Giants last week. The league, they set like a record this year for having the least amount of possessions during the game. They take it away. They had a good offensive game plan. I think they did the same thing versus the Jets. The Jets probably riding high on that win, so we'll see. It is the Browns. They've been known to blow these kind of games, but I'm still sticking with them.
No doubt. All right, Bears and Jags. I'm gonna go Jags again, dude. I'm going Jags.
No, Bears got a lot on the line to make playoffs. They're riding hot. They're going to try to get in. If the Arizona Cardinals, that's going to be a question I'll get to in a second. Go ahead.
All right, Bengals and Texans. I'm going Texans on that one.
Oh, that's interesting because the Bengals just like lit up Pittsburgh. Yeah, the Texans. They're Deshaun Watson. That's all I need to say.
Colts and Steelers. I pick Steelers on that one.
Yeah, I'm going Colts. Sorry, Charles.
Panthers and the football team. I'm going with the football team.
Me too. I'm a terrible fan.
Broncos and Chargers. Okay, now here we go. I'm going Chargers.
So I'm going to go different on you. I think the Broncos finally are giving Melvin Gordon the touches he needs. And then you still got Drew Lock that's kind of healthy. Jerry Jeudy, their offense has been struggling. It's a divisional matchup with the Chargers. I think Broncos pull this one out and upset. I think that is an upset.
Eagles and Cowboys. I got the Cowboys.
Jalen Hurts show, baby. Let's go Eagles.
Rams and Seahawks. I want Seahawks.
I'm going Rams. That's an embarrassing loss versus the Jets. I got to be motivated. If they lose this one, then screw the Rams.
Then Titans versus Packers. I'm going Packers.
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay. I'm not going to give you that one. So that's going to do it for our picks. We are a little bit different on those. Okay, the 10 o'clock game is actually about to start for you guys that are sitting here watching. The Bucks play the Lions, so hopefully that's a Tom Brady show. I need them at least a touchdown up by the end of the first half. So we'll see if that happens. Okay, the last part of the section, I ended up taking the questions that we asked you guys a week ago and putting them over here so you can see kind of what we're asking in these Google Forms. Okay, so the first one being, who gets the number one draft pick? Will it be the Jets, the Jaguars, or a big trade happens and somebody gets the rights to Trevor Lawrence? What you think, Chiefs? We got 50% saying Jets, we got 43% saying Jaguars, and then we got the last percent saying a big trade happens.
I'll go with Jets. They got to do something. They got to do something for they just shut that thing down. They need to go give them a nice first round pick. Get the fans back in the stadium or something.
Yeah. I was in that percentage, a low percentage of a big trade happens. I think a big trade is going to happen. Trevor Lawrence is probably one of the best quarterbacks coming into the draft, and they're going to get a lot of capital for that guy. So I think if they're smart, they're going to keep Sam Darnold and start building around a better defense or give them some freaking O linemen. Next pick. Oh, yeah. The next question, not the pick. Who's going to win the AFC South? Will it be the Titans finishing with the Packers and the Texans, or the Colts finishing with Steelers and the Jaguars? We got 63% saying the Titans finishing with the Packers and Texans. And then we got 37% saying Colts finishing with the Steelers, Jaguars. Which side do you want to choose?
I'm going to go Colts.
Yeah.
You say Colts on that one.
I said the same thing. I think that's an easier schedule, Steelers, Jaguars, instead of the Packers, Texans, for sure. But, they could go into freaking Lambeau. If they win in Lambeau, it's going to be interesting.
Yes, I know.
Next one, will a 10-win team miss the playoffs in the AFC? Yes, there's only one spot left in the possible four-way tie. No, one of those 9-win teams will lose the final 2 games. Option 3, which is nothing. And somebody voted for it. We got 81% saying yes, that there's only one spot left in a possible 4-way tie. And then we got 12% saying no, one of these 9-win teams will lose the final 2 games. Which one you on?
First one. I'll go with the first one.
Yeah, I do believe a 10-win team misses the playoffs, and that is crazy to think about. A 10-6 football team not making the playoffs.
And 10 NFL games, you ain't making it.
That is crazy. Who has the best chance to upset the Chiefs in the playoffs? We got 68% going with the Buffalo Bills. Let's go, Josh Allen train. That's what I'm talking about. We got 12. This is a split. 12.5% for both the Dolphins and Titans. People think that they could upset the Chiefs. And then we got a low percentage, 6% saying the Colts could. Where you at?
It'd be Bills or Colts, and I'd have to go Bills.
I picked the Bills as well. I put them to win the Super Bowl on a $10 parlay. So,
and Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs is going to have an amazing game.
And their running game is still kind of fresh.
For those who you mentioned, I would say Bills for sure.
Yeah. With 2 games to go, will Green Bay still have the number 1 seed? We got 56% saying yes. They play the Titans and Bears, and they will coast the playoffs with a first-round bye. We have 31% saying no. The Saints somehow jumped in for the number 1 seed, playing Vikings and the Panthers, which they are up right now. If the Packers win, then the Packers will jump back into that number 1 seed. But right now, we got the Saints in there. And then we got 12.5% saying no. Seahawks will somehow jump, playing the Rams and the 49ers. Seahawks are right there. But I'm pretty sure I went with yes. They finished with the Titans and Bears.
Yeah, I just want them to just get in the playoffs. Nobody get hurt. Just come on, ride through that thing. But yeah, I think they definitely wind up getting that first spot. I want to see who the Saints wind up playing again for the rest of their. Who do the Saints play? Let me see.
Yeah, their last week. I think it's divisional. I think it's the Falcons. Huh?
I think it's got to be. Is it the Falcons, though?
It might be Carolina.
Let me look. It'll take 2 seconds. All right. They play Panthers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They finish out with us, so yeah, screw the Saints. Hopefully we beat them.
Yeah, I don't know. They definitely could. I mean, yeah, so.
It's going to be interesting. The next question, NFC East has 2 games left, and the Cowboys / Giants still have a shot. Who takes it? We got 75% saying the Washington football team playing Panthers and Eagles on the final stretch. They stay on top. We have 25% saying the Cowboys create a miracle season, finishing with the Eagles and Giants, hoping Washington loses 1. Which one did you say?
He's not in here. I'm gonna go. I'm still gonna pick the Cowboys, man. I was high on the Giants, but out of those 3 teams, they could put together, and I'd like to see old Mike McCarthy wind up getting them to the Super Bowl. That'd be pretty dope. So I'm gonna rock with the Cowboys.
Cowboys have to win the next 2 games. Eagles, Giants, and the Washington football team has to lose for the Cowboys to even be considered.
Yeah.
So yeah, NFC East shaping up to be.
We've seen that. We've seen it happen before. I mean, we've seen it in years past, like where it comes down to someone losing, they won the 2, they got in. So it'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Next question, we got Arizona. Will Arizona make playoffs with Chicago right on the heels? We still have 81% saying yes. Arizona finishes with 49ers Rams and can punch their ticket in with the win. Uh, then we got 12% saying somehow Vikings went out, Arizona loses out, Bears and Vikings, and the strength of schedule is given to the Vikings, yada yada, but they already lost, so they are out. And then 6% saying no, Chicago plays Jaguars and Packers to jump ahead because Arizona loses one or two of these games.
I know they could beat the Jags. I don't see Green Bay losing to them, and then I can see the Cardinals losing one of
Yeah.
those games.
I can see them losing both these games, but 49ers with third string quarterback, maybe not so much. Rams, I can see them definitely losing that game.
I can see them losing that game. I don't know. Let's go with I don't want it to happen anyway. I don't want Chicago making it. So let's go with the Cardinals. They make it.
Yeah, and they look pretty good. Will 2020 be Drew Brees' last season? We have 50% saying yes. He's feeling the effects of injuries, happily retiring and entering broadcasting career. We have 43% saying no. If Tom Brady stays healthy another year, he will compete for those stats. And then we have 6% saying yes. Saints don't want to re-sign his old ass and move on with Winston/Hill.
He comes back another year.
I think he retires after this year. It's been a nice 11 fractured ribs. He's got like 3 or 4
But he's
kids.
still out there playing. He's still out there playing.
Yeah, still out there playing him, throwing 2 picks. He's not the guy anymore. I love Drew Brees, but your time is over, buddy.
Yeah, they might not think it, and they might be wanting to push that. But what do you do when he comes in saying, "No, I'm back, coach"?
Yeah, and be like,
Then
oh yeah.
you trade him to the Jets, and then that's the whole thing. See how it's all coming along now, and then someone else gets Trevor.
Oh gosh, that's crazy. We got 3 more questions for you. Will the Steelers lose the AFC North? The title of the AFC North, we got 50% saying yes. They've been playing very badly the past few weeks, and the Browns are right behind them. We got 43% saying no. They pull off one more game versus the Browns, and to win it outright. So basically, they play each other at the end, and people are thinking Pittsburgh's going to run away with that. And then we got 6% saying Browns in the playoffs as a 2-3 seed. Get the fuck out of here. Which one do you choose?
Browns wind up beating them, and it's going to be crazy. And Baker Mayfield is going to make a whole scene about it, and Juju is too. I don't know, man. I think the Browns can pull that off.
I do too. I want to see that happen, to be honest with you.
Me too.
Next question, Titans versus Packers. Who has the better game? We have 50% saying Derrick Henry rushing has a better game than all of the other guys. We got 37% saying Rodgers, Adams, Lazard, so basically the receiving corps. And then we had 12% saying Tannehill, Brown, and Davis as that receiving corps. No love for Aaron Jones rushing. Cheese, what you think?
Second one, we got to light it up, and I think with that defense that we find a way to get the ball to our playmakers, even if it's not the receiving core, getting Aaron Jones out the backfield and swinging some passes to him as well. So I would go with that. It's either that one or Henry, and I do not want Henry to have the best game. I don't want him having 150-yard game.
Yeah.
So I would probably go with that one.
I'm pretty sure I picked that one too. Like I said in the last matchup, the key matchup, the Titans secondary is pretty weak. So Aaron Rodgers is going to maybe have a field day. And then the last question, have you enjoyed 2020 season more than you have ever before? 62% saying yes, thank God for football during quarantine and having something to watch. 25% saying yes. The questions I fill out every week for this are awesome. Appreciate the love right there for the Cheetah and the Cheese. And then we got 6% and 6% saying no, there are too many rules. Defenses can't play football, and it has turned to aerial assaults. And no, injuries have rose. The refs still suck, and the NFL is rigged. Which one do you think?
Well, it's been that way for a long ass time. That ain't just 2020. Nah, man, it's been dope, especially being able to for us to even start this. I mean, this quarantine 2020 was what was able to put this little thing in motion. I've definitely enjoyed it. It's made football and even the games like I don't, because I used to be personally like, oh, so and so and so and so is playing, like, cool. I ain't gonna watch those scrub teams. I don't even care about them. Yeah. But now this made me like really dig in and watch and look at a lot of stuff throughout the whole football world. So I've definitely enjoyed it more, no doubt about it.
Well, we've got one more week of regular season left before playoffs. We are going to switch it up a little bit for the playoffs, give you something else to look at and things like that. That's on my end. So make sure you keep staying tuned, guys. Again, we appreciate you coming in, tuning in, commenting in the chat. And, hey, there's going to be a little competition for a free T-shirt. It's going to be in about 2 to 3 weeks. All right, I'm going to let you know on the Facebook page. Make sure you follow the Facebook page. We will see you guys Monday. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Yep, Monday fun day. Chief, kill him with the vibe.
Got you. But like he said, I hope everybody had a good Christmas as well. Stay with your family. Enjoy this break. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man.
Cheetah and cheese.